time there did say there was mad stuff going on all the time. Now, like I said, I find it hard to believe that America is haunted just because it's new.
It's so new. It doesn't have that medieval or 17 AD fucking mad shit.
Yeah, but at the same time, we're not being talking about fucking like San Quentin and ghosts and like it's definitely a thing, but there's something about like historical value,
spiritual resonance.
Exactly, but like it's a fucking concrete box. It's a fucking building. Yeah. You know what I mean? San Quentin had proper forced upon a history.
Yeah. Of
death and corruption and horrificness.
Yeah.
This is just a fucking industrial estate. So I don't know, but it adds to the legend of Testament. You know what I mean? Who are one of the most probably underrated bands, I believe.
Testament are fantastic.
Yeah.
They're absolutely fantastic bands.
I believe them to be the most underrated of all the kind of big metal bands. Yeah. Anyway, that's Testament, the Pale King, in Driftwood Studios in California. Give me your next one.
My next one is a band that I'm absolutely surprised after. I think I counted it. We've done nearly 30 hours of podcasting and they've never showed up.
Who be it?
Black Sabbath. Now, haunted podcasts.
Squing, squong, squing, squing, squong. Spingle, bingle, bong, dong, bling, bong, bong.
Black Sabbath recorded the album Black Sabbath.
Do you reckon? The Sabbath of Black.
Sabbath Bloody Sabbath in 1973.
What a fucking album.
No, phenomenal. Absolutely evil. It sounds evil.
Yeah.
And we'll get into why it sounds evil. So they were recording, by that stage, all their albums in America.
Mm.
So they're in their regular studio, the record plant. Now, they go into their room and one day and see a giant synthesizer in the middle of the room.
I thought you said a giant spider.
A giant spider. Spider! No, Stevie Wonder had moved in there to the studio and the place where Black Sabbath...
And he was lost.
Stevie Wonder. No, they had he's got his cane, his walking cane, whatever Stevie Wonder has.
And 16 members of his crew telling him, turn left, Stevie.
You know what we'll do? We'll stick a big synthesizer in Black Sabbath's room. And they were not particularly happy about the fact that the place that they recorded... Now, they were in a bad place there. They were about to break up before this album.
The beginning of the end, yeah.
Yeah, Black Sabbath were about to bail before their third album. Going, we're so into drugs. They were so into drugs.
Drug crazy.
And people give Ozzy Osbourne a hard time. Tony was...
They were
all absolutely fucking bicky.
All 9.5 fingers of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they said, well, let's go back to England. Clearly this studio is mad into Stevie Wonder and his ginormous synthesizer in the middle of our fucking room. We are going to go to a place called, and they rented Clearwell Castle in Gloucestershire.
Really?
Now this is a place where Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin had recorded. So they went, let's go back there and let's try and make something happen. Now when they got there, apparently musically nothing was happening for them at all. So they moved into the dungeon area to... This is back... Do you remember the idea of moving into a studio before you had an album written?
Yeah.
We couldn't afford that shit now.
Not now, no.
You have to have the...
Hence, we've talked about this before. I believe the first album by a band is what they have that is the best representation of the band.
Absolutely.
Up until that era.
Yeah.
Then you've got the second album, which is... maybe 4 or 5 songs
that
left
on that, on that release.
Exactly. And the rest of it then is just bits that they had.
Tourbus.
See, I think the third album is the Tourbus album.
Yes.
I think the second album is the songs they had ready that they didn't put on the second, but they had riffs and ideas.
But we're talking about a time when a label would put a band into a studio to write. That does not happen anymore.
No,
and it never will again.
No.
Because the idea of... And you know this as well... and I know this as well because the stuff we're recording now is expensive to fucking...
Yeah. It's too expensive for an average show.
If you go there and you fuck up your take,
yeah.
you're taken away from the next person.
You have to be bankrolled.
You have to be...
You have to be bankrolled to do this.
Yeah, even then it doesn't really happen anymore. Rehearsal spaces are not your studio spaces. So their studio space was also the rehearsal space.
All right.
So they moved down to the dungeon of Clearwell Castle. The dungeon to rehearse. Now we know the famous stories about Black Sabbath that Paranoid was written on the fly in a studio. So this is a perfect example of a band that go into a studio and have nothing or a semblance of a fucking idea, and they write in there. And that is on the clock, money-wise.
A few devil's chords on the spare.
On the absolute clock, they are writing and going. So they moved in there, and they, according to the stories of the whole band, they had nothing when they went there. And that's probably a good idea to move back to England away from a LA recording studio when you have nothing. So this is where the riff from Sabbath Bloody Sabbath came from Tony. Was like, it's grim, it's an armory, a repurposed armory, a dungeon where they were recording this stuff. Now, this place apparently was haunted as fuck.
Believe it.
The problem is, to get stories about the hauntedness of the recording was mixed up with how much they would play pranks on each other about how haunted it was. So they would be hearing things and seeing things. Like Tony and Ozzy Osbourne both said that they saw a black veiled spectre in there following them down all the time. They would find this person following them down the thing, and they would run past them into a room. They would follow them into a room. There'd be nothing there at all where they were recording the thing. So this is where the riff from. No, I picked the song "Who Are You" because basically I want to pick the creepiest songs.
Who are you? Black Sabbath.
That's what I always think. I always think that Who song. Who are you? No, not that one. This song is fantastic because early Black Sabbath is phenomenal.
Force 4.
There's no dirt on their Force 4.
Force 4.
There's no dirt on their Force 4.
Same as Van Halen.
Yeah.
Force 4.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And they all said shit started to kick off when they moved there. Like, absolutely. They started playing pranks on each other.
Did they get chills from drinking too much Gargle?
Can you imagine a band from Birmingham that are Black Sabbath doing... Even drinking would not be the thing that was getting them. It was all the drugs.
Of course it was.
Now, apparently this is a creepy place. This the Clearwell Castle in Gloucestershire is a creepy place to even be. Now, I don't know, apart from Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin who had recorded it before, and I don't know how much the drugs had induced, but apparently Bill Ward, the drummer, slept with a dagger on his chest.
A fucking dragon glass dagger.
An absolute dragon glass dagger on his fucking chest. So, apparently, when they got there, they said to the people who owned the place and were running, like, does anything weird happen there? Like, oh, yeah.
You won't believe it.
Oh, this people have... Now, Led Zeppelin, Deep Purple, don't do as many stories about them saying anything. Yeah. So, you have to balance between a massive amount of drugs and drink that they would have done.
Led Zeppelin too busy sticking sharks up boards and all.
Sharks up boards.
Yeah, that's the thing. They done that.
Why does that resonate with me as an actual story?
But that's happened. One of them stuck like a fucking baby shark up a mott or something, yeah.
Oh, that story is very familiar. We should get into it at a different stage, but not right now.
Marilyn Manson apparently tried to recreate it also. But anyway, yeah.
Weirdly, on that album, Rick Wakeman from Yes played keyboards on it.
Rick Wakeman.
I love Yes, the band in general. Are absolutely
his radio
fantastic.
show was fantastic.
Rick Wakeman is I'm a keyboard player against my will. I don't particularly want to be a keyboard player. I am absolutely I can't tell you why I'm forced him to be a keyboard player, but I do release a lot of synthwave stuff. Listen, Gar already mentioned his album.
Because I got mine out.
Gar already mentioned his album. I'm not going to talk about the music I do, but I know that I have a lot of respect for keyboard players. Rick Wakeman said
he's incredible, yeah.
Absolutely no ghost stories about this place. But Ozzy, Tony and Bill all said this place is fucking haunted as fuck. Where they recorded Sabbath Bloody Sabbath. Now, they had pretty much zero material going into this, to the point where the band went, I think we're fucked. We don't have anything to record. And then the riff from Sabbath Bloody Sabbath came out. Now, this is the reason I didn't pick Sabbath Bloody Sabbath as the song is, I just think Who Are You is an even creepier song. It has also massive amount of keyboards, which I'm a big fan of, if you didn't know that already.
There you go.
Keyboard players who don't get the respect they deserve. So, this place in Gloucestershire is apparently creepy as absolute fuck. And I don't think, as much as Black Sabbath were a creepy devil worshipping whatever, they weren't really at that stage.
They're just dopes.
They just kind of bought into the vision of it. Yeah. But this is the first time I think that they got touched by the devil.
What they were talking about.
The devil, they were all freaked out.
What they were on about got them.
To the point where just before they finished the album, they had to bail out of it. They went, you know what, aside from the fact that we're playing jokes on each other, things are getting very, very creepy. People are following us down the hall to where the recording aspect, the recording place I think was above it. And the rehearsal room was in the dungeon area where people absolutely would have been killed.
Yeah, 100%.
100% decapitated. And it's also the armory as well, which was... So, I'm kind of glad I got Black Sabbath into this podcast. And the song Who Are You has always been kind of a... If you're a fan of Ghost, and I hate mentioning Ghost because we've mentioned every podcast. It's
either Ghost or Nile Rodgers.
Yeah. But Gloucestershire... Clearwell Castle, it's pretty much not a studio anymore. I don't think you can go get an album recorded in there. Haunted as fuck. 1973, Black Sabbath. Bloody Sabbath. Haunted. What's your next one?
Speaking of haunted as fuck, I picked the song Fun Time by Iggy Pop. And it's off an album called... Fun Time. It's off an album called Post Pop Depression. Now... This will be one of the rare occurrences on this podcast where I have picked a song that has absolutely nothing to do with the story. Okay?
Really?
Yeah. Post-pop depression.
Oh, I've got one of them. Don't worry about that. Okay. I'm going to back you up later. Don't worry about that.
So Post-pop depression was recorded live at the Royal Albert Hall. Okay? So my stories are about the Royal Albert Hall. The Royal Albert Hall, oh my God. Did you hear that? Someone fucking wind me up.
That's like a Reeves Mortimer club version of the song. Yeah, go on.
I can do this. The Royal Albert Hall is considered to be one of the most haunted places in England.
I actually know about that. That is actually supposed to be a bit creepy as fuck. Yeah.
So the Royal Albert Hall opened in 1871. 1871.
That boy was murdered.
Now, to this day...
What the dickens are you talking about?
That's bananas.
I bet you tell us the donuts this story is going to be good.
That's not a real thing I've ever said.
It is. Go on.
So, to this day, the staff who work there in the hall, I'm not going to keep trying to say the Royal Albert Hall, there's something about R's and A's. The staff who work in the hall have been keeping track and documenting ghost stories and weird things that happen there for about 147 years now, right?
Yeah, now, I'm into it. Come on, give it to me.
There's literally a million mad stories about the Royal Albert Hall. The best one that I could find, I've got two mini stories and one fucking juicy one, right? Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, okay? He wrote fucking Sherlock Holmes and keeps going. He was obsessed.
The thing about the fucking Land Before Time. No. I'm doing a you. I'm getting me facts mixed up. The thing, yeah. He did it.
I know what you're talking about.
The thing, the dinosaur era thing. Arthur Conan Doyle did. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, go on.
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle was obsessed with the idea of an afterlife. He was a spiritualist in life. Okay, him and his missus used to hire mediums all the time. They used to hire mediums to come to their house and try and get in contact with the dead all the time.
Imagine being that close with your missus. That you had an interest that you had a thing that you could both enjoy in a financial level.
Well, both of them were into fucking dead people.
Like Wings.
It was like Wings, yeah. So, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle had this thing that he talked about his entire life, that when he died, people should try and contact him, and he will contact them from beyond the grave to prove an afterlife. Okay?
Did you do that?
I'm alive right now, right? So I'm not going to do it. But in 1930, the Spiritualist Association of England rented out the Royal Albert Hall 1 week after the death of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, right? To try and get in contact with him.
You know what? He's literally just putting his boxers in the drawer.
Yeah.
Don't give him a bit of time.
He hasn't opened the suitcase in heaven. Right?
He hasn't. He's literally just finding out where the canteen is, lads.
Exactly.
Give him a minute.
Now,
give him a minute.
Here's where it's fucked up.
In heaven,
10,000 people came to the hall to witness this.
Bullshit.
10,000 people. fucking came into the Royal Albert Hall
Holy
to
shit.
see the fucking Spiritualist Association of England get in contact with Sir Arthur Conan Doyle because he had made such a big song and dance about